Good morning, students. In class 7, I am Alok Shukla once again to teach you grammar. Today, I shall teach you the sentence. The sentence. In sentence, I shall teach you the simple sentence. I shall teach you the compound sentence and complex sentence. How they are make up. How they are make up. Here you will see structures. Learning modules.
Adjectives. By the end of this module, you shall be able to differentiate between types of clauses and use them effectively to construct meaningful sentences.
Here you will see differentiate between types of clauses, use them effectively to construct meaningful sentences. To construct in meaningful sentences.
The concepts in this module.
The
Adjectives. By the end of this module, you shall be able to
clauses differentiate between types of clauses, use them effectively to construct meaningful sentences. To construct meaningful sentences.
differentiate between types of clauses and use them effectively to construct meaningful sentences. The concepts in this module include introduction, clauses, structure of a clause, classification of clauses.
Language.
The concepts in
Here you will see concepts in module, introduction, clauses, and structure of a clause. Structure of a clause and classification of clauses. Classification of clauses.
adjectives. By the end of this module, you shall be able to differentiate between action, clauses, structure of a clause,
To communicate effectively.
Link.
A phrase is a short, single piece of information constructed with two or more words. What is a clause? A clause is a group of words that includes a little more information than a single word or a phrase.
सुनिए
Let us look at what is a clause. A clause contains a subject and a predicate. A clause may be either an independent or a dependent part of a sentence.
Clause. A clause contains a subject and a predicate. A clause may be either an independent or a dependent part of a sentence. The former is known as a coordinating clause, while the latter is called a subordinating clause. Latter is called a subordinating
At
clause.
the structure of a clause. All clauses in English have at least two parts, a noun phrase and a verb phrase. For example,
Here, the structure of a clause. Simplifying sentence structure, what does that mean? Why do I need to know about that? Noun phrase, verb phrase, okay? The girls, all the people in the stadium. And in verb phrase, laughed, girls laughed. Laughed is the verb phrase. And the girls is the noun phrase. All the people in the stadium were watching the match. This is the were watching the match is the verb phrase.
example, dependent clause is a group of words containing a subject and a predicate.
This is the classification of clause. Dependent. A group of words containing a subject and a predicate. Can stand alone. Also known as a main clause. It also known as a main clause. When independent, it is like a simple sentence. When independent, it is like a simple sentence.
When independent, it is like a simple sentence. Dependent clause, a group of words that has both a subject and a verb, but unlike an independent clause, cannot stand alone as a sentence, is known as a dependent clause or subordinate clause on its own.
Dependent, a group of words containing a subject and a verb, cannot stand alone as a sentence. Also known as a subordinate clause, must be combined with an independent clause in order to form a complete sentence.
So, a dependent clause is left hanging, its meaning incomplete. It must be combined with an independent clause in order to form a complete sentence. Dependent clause can be of three types: adverb clause, adjective clause, and noun clause.
Okay, students. Independent clause are of three kinds. Independent clause are of three kinds. First one is the adverb clause, second is the adjective clause, and third is the noun clause. Adverb clause does the work of an adverb is known as the adverb clause. Adjective clause does the work of an adjective is known as adjective clause, and noun clause does the work of a noun and known as the noun clause.
Further, an adverbial clause can be traditionally classified as the following. An adverb clause of reason indicates why the particular action of the verb is taken. When the adverb clause indicates time of action, then that adverb clause can be termed as adverb clause of time. The adverbial clauses of concession are introduced by the subordinating conjunctions though, although, even if, etc. The adverb clause of purpose may indicate the purpose which the verb may address. Adverb clause of condition is introduced by the following conjunctions: if.
Here, the traditional classification of adverb clause is given. The kinds of adverb clause. The kinds of adverb clause. The adverb clause of reason. Adverb clause of reason indicates why the particular action of the verb is taken. Why the particular action of the verb is taking. And adverbial clause of time indicates time of action. Indicates time of action. Adverbial clause of concession introduced by subordinating conjunctions though, although, etc. Adverbial clause of purpose indicates the purpose which the verb may address. Which the verb may address. Adverbial clause of condition introduced by following conjunctions: if, whether, unless, and etc. These are the traditional classifications of adverb clause.
If, whether, unless, etc. Here is a list of commonly used conjunctions which form adverb clauses. Time clauses: when, before, after, since, while, as long as, until, till, etc. Example.
This is the time clause. Time clause means this type of conjunctions when joined to sentence make a time clause. They make a time clause because they are talking of time. They indicate time, like words when, before, after, since, while, as long as, until, till, etc. They tells about the time and known as the time clause.
Examples. Her grandma died when she was young. Before I went to bed, I finished my homework.
These are the examples.
Conditional clauses: if, unless, lest. Example: if they lose weight during an illness, they soon regain it afterwards. Purpose clauses: in order to, so that, in order that. Example.
One second. Conditional clauses: if, unless, and lest. There are three words mostly used in one words is also used on okay here. Provided that. If, unless, provided that, lest. If they lose weight during an illness, they soon regain it afterward. This is a conditional clause. Purpose clause: in order to, so that, in order that.
Example: they had to take some of his land so that they could extend the churchyard. Reason clauses: because, since, as, given. Example.
This is the reason clause. Why it is known as the region clause? They talks of the region. They talks of the region, and here because since as given. Because since as given, I couldn't feel anger against him because I liked
Result
him.
clauses.
Result clause.
So that. Example. My suitcase had become so damaged on the journey home.
When so that is used in a sentence, when so that is used in a sentence, you will say that's make the result clause. They make the result clause. Example, my suitcase had become so damaged on the journey home that the lid could not be lashed back. Lid could not be lashed back. Okay, this will make the result clause. This will make the result
The
clause.
lid could not be lashed back. Concession clauses. Although, though, while. Example. I used to read a lot, although I had many other engagements. Place clauses. Where, wherever, anywhere, everywhere. Example. He said he was happy where he was.
Okay, this is the concession clause. What is the concession clause? In concession clause, contrast is used. The words although, though, while is used to make the concession clause. I used to read a lot, although I had many other engagement. Here, although is used. That shows the contrast or concession. That shows the contrast or concession. And another clause is the place clause. Place, where place is addressed like where you are, anywhere, everywhere. He said he was happy where he was. He said he was happy where he was. Okay. Next.
Clauses of comparison. Has. Example. Johan can speak English as fluently as his teacher. Clauses of manner. As, like, the way. Example. I was never allowed to do things as I wanted to do them.
Okay. Now you will see clauses of comparison. As. John can speak English as fluently as his sister. Okay, and this type of words are used in this class. Clauses of manner, as, like, see, when. I was never allowed to do things as I wanted to do them. Okay, this is the manner clause. This is the manner clause. Okay.
Adjective clauses can be traditionally classified as the following: non-restrictive and restrictive. Here's an example of a non-restrictive adjective clause. My older brother's car, which he bought 2 years ago, has already needed many repairs.
Adjective clause are of two types, the restricted and non-restricted. Here the example of non-restricted is given. My older brother's car, which he bought 2 years ago, has already been repaired many a time. Has already been repaired many a times. Okay?
Next, the highlighted words which he bought 2 years ago is the non-restrictive adjective clause in the sentence. Now look at an example of a restrictive adjective clause. The room that you reserved for the meeting is not ready. In this
This
sentence,
is the example of restrictive clause. This is the example of restrictive clause. The room that you reserved for the meeting is not ready.
that you reserved
Okay.
for the meeting is the restrictive adjective clause. Let us now look at the definition of a noun clause.
This is a very important clause known as the noun clause. Very important clause known as the noun clause. A dependent clause that functions as a noun. A dependent clause that functions as a noun, that is as a subject, object or complement. Until a sentence, it is also known as a nominal clause. It is also known as a nominal clause.
A dependent clause that functions as a noun, that is, as a subject, object, or complement within the sentence, also known as a nominal clause. Traditionally, noun clauses have been classified into three types. That clause, WH clause, if or whether clause.
This is very important. You will see. Noun clause is also classified into if or whether clause, that clause, WH clause, WH clause, if clause or whether clause.
I wonder how he feels today. Finally, we will focus on if or whether clauses. Noun clauses with if or whether are often followed by or not. They are often used in statements that express uncertainty. For example, I don't know whether he will like my present or not.
Whether is used to express
Time
on
to do some assignments
on,
that you learned today.
uncertainty shows if or whether, and it is used if or whether clause, WH clause or that clause. And this is the assignment of this. Just mention
Really, identify the simple and
simple and complex sentences. You have to identify. Okay?
with feeble voice.
This is the
He laughed when he saw the monkey dance. While I was sleeping, they removed all my books. It is a story without any truth. Napoleon was a man of great courage. Answers.
that's all. That's all. You have to complete this at your home. Thank you for watching me. Have a